Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Inside Elections. Today is Thursday, January 8th, 2026, and today we're going to be talking about the state, New Hampshire, that was once in reach for Republicans, that is now not in reach for the Republican Party. And like I said, this is the state of New Hampshire. A few months ago, a few months ago, former Republican Governor Sununu was thinking about running for New Hampshire Senate. He is a popular Republican in the state of New Hampshire. In 2022, when 2 years earlier the state voted for Biden by nearly double digits, 2 years later the state voted for Chris Sununu by 16 points. He's a popular former governor, and he had to retire in 2020 after his term in 2022. But in 2024, New Hampshire re-elected another Republican governor. The point is, New Hampshire is open to electing Republicans, specifically Chris Sununu, because he is a popular Republican. However, about 5 months ago, Chris Sununu dropped out of the Senate race, saying he will not run for Senate in the state of New Hampshire in 2026, which was going to be a likely pickup for the Republican Party in New Hampshire should he run, because he's a popular former governor. New Hampshire would have elected him, but he's not. He dropped out of the race, and we have some new polling out from the state of New Hampshire talking about how this isn't a tight race for Republicans anymore. Because just because Chris Sununu isn't running, it doesn't mean that Sununu isn't running. John Sununu, Chris Sununu's father, I believe, actually, is running for this. He was in elected office in New Hampshire almost 3 decades ago. He's coming back not 2 decades, a little bit over a decade ago. He's coming back to New Hampshire politics to run for Senate with the Sununu name. But as this poll, as we'll talk about, shows that is not going to happen. He's not going to win the Senate race. So let's talk about this first. This same poll has Donald Trump's approval rating at a -21. -21. But and the reason, and you might say, well, is approval's -21? He only lost the state by 3 points. Okay, this poll's inaccurate. I want you to look at this. Republican Kelly Ayotte is handling her job, her approval rating as governor of New Hampshire, Republican. She's approved of by about 6 points. It's a state that votes for Republicans when they want to and approves of Republicans when they want to by 6 points. When she won by 8, which is, I think it was 8, and she won by 9. The point is that Republicans are okay with, the state of New Hampshire is okay with Republicans. But in the same poll, U.S. Senate Pappas versus Brown, Chris Pappas is the Democratic presumptive nominee for Senate. Republican Scott Brown is the challenger to John Sununu, but we can look at the primary polls of this. Republican primary, John Sununu is winning by double digits. Scott Brown's not going to be the Republican nominee, so we can just disregard question 5. But U.S. Senate Pappas versus Sununu. John Sununu, not Chris Sununu. Democrat Chris Pappas is winning by 6 points. By 6. Or more than 6, what am I saying? By 7, yeah. And Democrats are leading by 7 in the state that Republicans were once in reach for. Republicans saw this as a pickup opportunity for the Senate in 2026, but former Governor Chris Sununu is not running, and Democrats are going to pick up the seat. We can look at the latest polls in this state. Before, it was a close race, even against John Sununu. I know it's confusing, Chris Sununu, John Sununu, but this is all John Sununu, not Chris Sununu, not the former governor. Or actually, I think John Sununu was also. Yeah, he is a former governor from 3-4 decades ago, but it's confusing. Let me go back. In earlier polls, Chris Pappas only led by 3, by 6, by 3. It used to be a closer race, but now this poll is showing that it's not tightening up. It's becoming better for the Democrats. It's becoming better for Chris Papas. And this is going to be a Senate race that Democrats will most likely win in 2024, in 2026, sorry, by a high margin. And this is a state that in 2024 only voted for, only voted for Kamala Harris by 2.8%. It was closer than Arizona. It was closer than Nevada. It was closer than North Carolina. It was a state that is close. Kamala Harris barely won it, and now Democrats are going to win the Senate race that they once thought they were going to lose by, and they're going to win by 6 points. I mean, look at the predictor websites. Tilt Democrat, Lean Democrat. This was a close race. This is a race that nobody's really talking about, but it is a close race, or was. But now it's just that gap is widening for the Democrats as we go into 2020, as we come into 2026. That gap for the Democrats is becoming larger. They're winning by higher margins. In the same polls that Republicans have positive approval ratings, or at least Republican governors. And this state has elected, let me show you again, Republican governor 2024 by 10 points, 2020 by 16 points, 2022 by 32 points. This was Chris Sununu by 2022. In 2020, I meant, when Joe Biden won the election, Chris Sununu was winning New Hampshire by 32 points. That's how popular of a Republican he is, and he would have won this Senate race by substantial margins if he did run. I mean, he in 2018, once again, a Democratic massive blue wave. I mean, states like Pennsylvania, which Democrats lost 2 years prior, Democrats were winning by 17 points. In New Hampshire, Republicans, Chris Sununu was winning by 7. In 2016, by 2. They haven't had a Democratic governor since 2014. And that's because of Chris Sununu, who is not running for Senate, which is why Democrats are going to win this Senate election in 2026. Okay, that's enough of my yap. I hope I wasn't talking in circles too much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, I encourage you to comment those thoughts or suggestions. If you like the video, I encourage you to like the video and subscribe. And yeah, hope you have a great day.